Okay, we are moving on to solving multi-step inequalities. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to apply the same tactics, the same things that we were just doing in our other two packets here. You are always going to solve like a normal equation, but flip the sign when you multiply or divide by a negative. Okay, those are always the rules you are going to follow. This should be a pretty easy section because you guys already know how to solve multi-step equations. If you know how to solve multi-step equations, multi-step inequalities will be just as easy. So we have 9/5 c plus 32 is greater than negative 35. So first, let's decide what is happening to c. C's first order of operations would tell me that it's being multiplied by 9/5, then added by 32. So then I need to apply, in order to solve for c, the reverse opposite. Instead of adding 32, I'm going to subtract 32. Instead of multiplying by 9/5, I'm actually going to multiply by the reciprocal 5/9. So let's apply these steps now. Minus 32 minus 32, and I get 9/5 c is greater than negative 63. Okay, from here, I have 9/5 c is greater than negative 63, and I need to multiply by the reciprocal. When I multiply fractions, well, first of all, these are going to cancel. When you multiply fractions, you multiply straight across. I'm going to go ahead and do that. 63 times 5 is 315, so negative 315 divided by 9, which is negative 35. So c is greater than negative 35. It is important that you understand what this means. What does the solution mean? This solution means that any number greater than negative 35 can be plugged into the inequality and it will work, okay? Any number that is greater than negative 35 can be plugged into the inequality and it will work. I'm not going to remind you guys how to graph it because we should be pretty good on that. Let's go ahead and do example 2. Example 2, decide what's happening to b. Well, in this case, it's being multiplied, looks like by negative 17, then added by 19. And we're going to apply the reverse opposite. Instead of adding 19, we are going to subtract 19. Instead of multiplying by negative 17, we are going to divide by negative 17. Let's go ahead and do that now. Minus 19, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. Those are going to cancel. Negative 16 minus 19 is negative 35. Yes, negative 35. I am not quite done yet here because I need to divide by negative 17, but hopefully you've noticed that we're dividing by a negative number. Anytime you divide by a negative number, you are going to flip the sign. Okay, it becomes less than, it becomes greater than. So it was less than, it becomes greater than. 35 over 17. And that's as simple as I can do that. Sometimes I will ask you to put it as a decimal, but you guys will know when that is. Example 3. Write an inequality for the sentence, then solve the inequality. So now we're going to write an equation or write an inequality and then solve it. It says 3 times a number. Okay, so 3 times we'll call the number x. Minus 18 is at least, okay, we'll come back to that, 5 times the number plus 21. When it says at least, that means that it has to be at least this side. So whatever's on this side has to be at least this side. So that means that this has to be greater than or equal to this side. Okay, 3x minus 18 has to be at least greater than or equal to 5x plus 21. Okay, the least amount that it can be is this, but it could also be more. In order to solve this, solve it like any equation. Get all the variables to one side, numbers to the other side. Minus 3x minus 3x. Negative 18 is greater than or equal to 2x plus 21 minus 21 minus 21, and we get negative 39 is greater than or equal to 2x. Divide by 2, and you get x is less than or equal to negative 39 over 2. And that is where we are going to stop today.